it's me, Quanae. Welcome back to my channel. I am the owner of KM Essentials, and I make skincare products that's based on spirituality that will inspire you to feel beautiful, to feel empowered, and to feel magical all at the same time, because that's the goal over here. I want to empower Black, Brown, and Indigenous women. All right, and then on this channel, I make sure I provide a safe space for self-acceptance, wisdom, magic, and beauty. I don't care what you practice as long as it works. That's all I got to say. I had seen that on another TikTok creator, and he was like, I don't care what you practice. I just want to know if it's working. And I'm like, period. Okay. So, excuse me. So first, what we want to do, like on this video, I want to make sure, excuse me, I want to make sure that your faith is not wavering, because we do not need any more people out here walking around with self-doubt, especially my Black and brown women. I do not want us to be walking around with self-doubt, especially with these passport PP bros going around shitting on us. And these and Sinji say, these black male worshipers. We don't need any of that, because we are magical creatures. We is the blueprint. Black women, Black and brown women are the blueprints, okay? So first things first, I'm going to start out with just a short story of what inspired this. So at times my face does waver. I get nervous. And that's all out of trauma. I remember specifically one family member had told me that people don't want to be around me because I go into the devil worship things. Pretty much it boiled down to me not identifying as Christian and just finding my way on a different path that's for me. And come to find out, my spiritual team that has been with me, that was assigned to me, that I picked in another life before I came here, they was all there waiting, and they have been joyous ever since. So, but sometimes those hurtful words and those actions that people have done to me, that whole silent treatment, no talking to me, just going no contact, sometimes that does hurt. I am human. I do have my feelings that do get hurt. When people hurt my feelings, it is what it is. Sometimes I carry it with me for a long time. Sometimes things that will remind me of the hurtful things people have said to me, it comes back up, and I just think what was the point? Would it have been easier just to fake it, just so I can have, that surface level major conditional love from a person. And I had went and I had meditated recently, and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and start my new Rose of Jericho, which I have to get a bigger pot, but here's my new Rose of Jericho. And I was like, I had got this Rose of Jericho, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of my other one because it's just not working for me, blah 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 blah. And the little voice said to me, why would you give up? Give up for what on that plant? You see that there's no green. You see that there's mold on it. And yet it blooms. Yet it continues to work for you. It continues to work. It continues to do its best to absorb that negative energy. It continues to act as a veil over your home. And I keep it at my altar. And then here's my old Rose of Jericho that I didn't have. There are twins. Excuse me, that I didn't have for over a year. You see, there's no green. There's only a little bit of green right here. And I'm actually going to give this Rose of Jericho a proper burial, these twins. Because they've been working hard. As you can see, it's beat up from the flow up. And yet I put water in it, and it just opens up. She's still living, but they're still living, but I'm going to give them a proper burial. But that is a lesson. And that voice also said, learn from that. No matter what you look like on the outside, what matters is the work that you are putting in your private life. Not all work has to be publicized. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. If it's for you, if they are for you and you are for them, you're just going to make it work. And that's just the raw deal. So some tips that you can practice, or, that you can pick and choose from. It's just a short list. In case you feel that your magic is not working, if you feel that your workings is not manifesting, here's some things that you can do. First things first, you can take rest. Take time to sleep. Get some good, proper sleep hygiene, sleep routine. Sit down. If you need to sit in a quiet room and just close your eyes, if you're able to afford it, sit there and do that. I don't always recommend to you to always try to spend money, but if you live in a home where you have like roommates, or you have like other people staying with you, or families over and you need a break or whatever, maybe you need to get that little hotel room for the night to just to shut everything off, shut everything down, and recuperate. Second, you want to do is to clean your home. Even if you feel that it's clean your home anyways. And if you have a back door, take your trash out through the back door. You don't have to travel through your home to get to the front door. If you can afford it. If you can't, that's okay. But also remember to sweep towards your door. So if all you have is a front door, then all of your sweeping motions, you want to make sure that it's in the direction of your front door, and you take that debris out of your home as soon as possible. Third, you want to make sure that you bless your home. So there's many ways you can bless your home. You can pray over it. You can use Florida water and spray around your home. You can the best way for the Florida water is the homemade, but if all you have access to or all you feel comfortable with is the commercial brand of Florida water, the blue Florida water, then go ahead and just use that. Put it in your mop water, put some in your clothes, put some in your bath water, just to make sure you bless yourself too. You can use certain herbs. So I have like books that I would recommend. So the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs is my go-to if I'm in a store and I'm like, what is that? It's usually in this book. If not, then I can just look it up. And so it's really nice. It has pictures in it, and then it has like a little narrative as well that you can read. This book I recently just came across a few months ago, the Spiritual Herbalism Companion. I actually found this at Five and Below, and it's really nice. It's written by a black lady, and she, it's like some of the stuff that she writes, it's based off of the Orishas. So here's a bottle right here, and it's really nice. And she has recipes for food. She has for beauty products. She talks about ancestral worship in here. And it's actually really nice. And she has like flowers in here that you can look and read up on. This is one of my favorites. Chilies is good for anti-hex and protection. And so you can use herbs, you can use salt, you can sprinkle salt in the corners of your home. You can sprinkle it outside of your doors. You can put it inside of your windowsill. You can throw it on your steps if you have steps or a walkway. Put that salt on there and sweep it towards the street. Get all that negative energy and make sure that stuff goes out. Because once you push the negative energy out, or spirits or whatever that's in your home that you don't want there, you do not want it to come back in. So you want that veil of protection to keep it out as best as you can. You can also use the Bible. There's many verses in there about protecting your mind, body, and spirit. Find the verses that work for you, because that Bible is very vast. And then I know for me, that Bible at times can sound like gibberish, and I'll just be reading it And I'd be like, what in the world is they trying to say in here when I be working with my candles and my herbs? You can use sound. We live in a glorious world where we have access to internet and YouTube. And there's many sounds and channels that actually work with getting that, whatever reason, whatever obstacle you may be going through, there's some type of frequency video or some type of guided meditation to help out with that. Music is a great way to uplift your frequency, especially if you're working with your ancestors. The ancestors that you know that has transition, you can play different types of music that they used to listen to. My people that I grew up with, the oldest was from the early 1900s. And then most of the people that are alive that has recently passed grew up in like the 50s or the 60s. And so sometimes if I want to think about them and the life that they lived, I listen to that. Sometimes I still listen to like the Backstreet Boys because I grew up in the 90s, early 90s. I'm a millennial, and I just love boy bands in the early 2000s. Just love boy bands and girl bands. So sometimes I listen to that just to reminisce on some nice times. Also, to bless your home is to give commands. So literally command whatever you're trying to get out to leave. Open your window, open your door, tell it to leave. Fourth, you actually want to set aside time to actually talk to your spiritual team. Call them by name. If you want to talk to your ancestors specifically, call them. To my ancestors that wish me well, known and unknown, that align with my beliefs and that is here to love me, call them. That way it filters out not the ancestors that are just for you or for that moment. It filters them out. So they're the only ones that come through, because not all ancestors are for you. Not all ancestors will have the best advice for the situation that you're going through. So you want to make sure you hone in on the ones that love you. All right. I thought I saw something. You want to also find, so that was number 4. So number 5, you want to find somebody with more shade than you. More power. And I say that is because everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and where your weakness is, you want to make sure that you have somebody who's that strength. So say like I am not good at reading tarot, and sometimes I need the raw deal to where I can't get it from the oracle cards, and so I will go to somebody who reads tarot, who can give me the raw, unfiltered truth through the cards. Or if I have like I come across a recipe that I want, and I'm just like, this might need to be beefed up a little bit, and I may not have that herb. I can always find somebody at the store I go to get a lot of my herbs. I can just talk to the shop owner and be like, hey, I'm working on this. This is what I've tried. I don't know if it's working too well. And then with their knowledge and their shade, they can help guide me in the right direction and pick the right herbs that I want. So that is amazing. And then we got 6 is to do something that's not tied to a religion or your spirituality. So like going to the movies, going out to eat, doing a painting class, volunteering at your local food pantry, volunteering at the animal shelter, just something outside of your religion or the spiritual practices you have. Going on a nature walk, it can be something like that. Oh, is that 6? Okay, so 7, because I make sure I write it down, because I just don't want to be blurting out stuff or just rambling. That's not cool. Listen to, like I already touched on listening to music, but listen to have that list together. That could be a challenge for you. Have that list together of like songs that no matter what you're going through will kick you into the frequency that you need to be to manifest your dreams. I have me a short list that any one of those songs I could put them on and like boom, I'm instantly in a good mood. It keeps me going, especially when I'm working because my job be stressful working for the government. My goodness. And the biggest thing is when you need help to ask. I still, and this is when I say ask, I'm talking about from the living and in the spiritual realm. If you need help, you need help. It is what it is. I struggle with this to where, well, due to like being raised as a little black girl, we are like adultified at a young age. We're conditioned to be that strong, independent black woman. Like where it's like all on you. You do this, you do. It's all you or nothing. And I had to come. I'm slowly coming out of that mode where I feel comfortable asking for assistance. It gets scary at times because I feel so vulnerable asking for assistance when I'm supposed to be doing everything. I'm supposed to be throwing on that cape and being superwoman, and I'm just not all the time. So I'm getting used to asking for help, especially like in my personal life, just simply ask. Okay, and then lastly, my little kitty cat, he's here. One of my little kitty cats. Is to try something new. So one of the things that my son actually showed me is this game called Roblox. And if you're not familiar with Roblox, so it's like a multiplayer game that has games inside and you can play with other people. And one of my favorite games to play on there, especially when I just need to disconnect, where I just need to detach, is playing Backrooms. Like some of the Backrooms I've seen that they have like certain tasks where you defeat monsters, where you go like on the scavenger hunt. It's a giant maze and everybody plays it, and I just go there and I like start running around and defeating the monsters and getting like certain items, and so you could like put the items together. Like one that I'm playing, so one of the tasks that I'm trying to complete is, and one of the backrooms that's like more challenging, is to actually trap a monster. And it has been a challenge for one, to find the traps because the traps are scattered, and then two, going and finding the monster to where you can get the monster to chase you to go into the trap, and that be that. But that was just my few tips, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the card reading. Okay, so let's get right into the reading. So first I'm going to start off with is what's upcoming for our viewers this coming April. It's a new month. It's already spring. I got my Divine Abundance deck. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Faith. And it says, miraculously amazing, everything I need always comes. Love is opening me to receive beyond anything. So that's good. So let's see what we need to get it together so that we can strengthen our faith. So that goes directly into the tips and tricks. Oh, there's talking. So we're going to do in the Priestess deck. So we had several things. I shuffled and 4 cards came out. So it's about to be in abundance. And here's the cards that came out. So first things first, we have brilliant beliefs. So your personal power in this spring, which is perfect because that means you're about to awaken some powers, awaken some of your strength. You're going to start recognizing your weaknesses, and that way you can take those weaknesses, work on them, so that you can either find a support to strengthen them, or you can make it an asset for you. Achievement. So that can come in the form of a job. It could come in the form of you achieving some of your short-term goals. It could come in with your manifestations coming to you that you've been working on, either subconsciously or consciously. If you have said it in the wind, if you have practiced some of your spells, that means that your spells, your intentions, they're going to be coming back to you. They are in the process of working, and they're actually going to start manifesting. So you need to pay attention to what is going on. And then right here, your twin flame. If you haven't already found somebody that is your other half, either they're coming to you or you need to work with that person, either with communication. You need to work with them so that they can build like your building. Y'all can have building blocks together. So like it's like a puzzle piece. So you guys are more interconnected. So that's what twin flames. And it doesn't have to come in the form of like romantic partners. It could come in the form of like platonic relationships. So you guys are good friends. You guys have a genuine connection with each other, because just as romantic partners is good for social strength and, let's say, development, it's also good to have those mutual friends, either with a family member or with co-workers, whatever. But it's just somebody that you can really connect with, that you can be yourself with, that you can trust, outside of anything romantic or anything sexual. So if you've been feeling like you haven't had that part of your life of a strong bond to somebody, that is coming. And if you already had it, then this is the time where you guys need to really be strengthening each other and be there for each other. And then this one is sensuality, and as you can see it says feminine wisdom and passion. So this is like your creative juices are going to start flowing as well. So not only when all these things, so you can strengthen your faith and your divinity and really connecting to your spiritual team, you really want to hone in on your feminine power. So that's like the nurturing, the creativity, the spiritual protection. You want to get straight into that. You want to make sure you pay attention to where you feel that you're falling short and work on that. And then comes the circle of eternal joy, and this is timelessness and the dance of life. So if you've been feeling in a rut, so we are coming out of winter time where cabin fever is a thing. Here up north, I live in Ohio, so cabin fever is a thing. When it's cold, we are not going out. We're like ordering out. We're barely hanging out with our friends. Thank goodness for video chatting, because that can be hard. If you work from home, that can be hard as well, because you're very isolated. So in this springtime, you want to focus on your relationships that you have with people, the ones that you know that will give you joy. So if you find yourself when they be asking for assistance or they need help and you're there, those are the people that you want to start gravitating to in this time of rebirth and fruitation and love and abundance. You want to focus on them. So in this rebirth, let's see what archetype that we can take an example from to get to strengthen us. Maybe you can read up on them and just get some understanding. If they want to, oh, this one fell out. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. It fell on the floor and I got these nails that I'd be taking. So, this is look like a Viking, no? Pagan, because I recognize the ruins over here. This is a pagan spirit. And this is Odin, and this is psychic insight. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. So that's great. That goes perfectly with faith. So right now, if you have been doubting yourself or have been thinking that all this work is for nothing, it happens. It happens because there's things in life that you cannot control. There's things in life that you will not understand because life is so complex. There's so much information out there that's constantly coming to you that you have exposure to, that has been written before your time, and in this lifetime you really can't get all the understanding that you truly need. So not only do you are supposed to, in this time of bloom, this time of rebirth, it's time to really pay attention to how you're feeling. If something doesn't feel good, let it go. Something is toxic, let it go. Because one thing I've learned is if it's meant for you, it will come. If it's not meant for you and you try to hold on to it, all you're going to do is just hurt yourself. You do not want to go into that dark space holding on to something. And if you don't understand, the most important thing is you to ask. Either you could ask a living person or you can ask, your spiritual team. Make sure you call them by name and ask for that guidance and to trust. Because sometimes it's scary not knowing when, if somebody is right for you, like, yes, feels good. Yes, this, that and the third. But to understand that separation, and if you really do need to separate, to lean on yourself, that separation from whatever's troubling you is going to work out in your favor. That way you can achieve all of these things. Well, come on now. You can achieve all of this. All of this is waiting. That spiritual protection, those good relationships, that joy, that dancing in the rain type thing, your goals that you've been working on all year, it's all there. All you have to do is just continue to walk in your faith. Walk in your faith and trust that your spiritual gifts that has led you this far is going to continue to lead you. And you really need to lean on that. And so with that, I say ashe to all of you. I love you all. May you all be great. Until the next time that we talk. Love you.